George Earthy, what can I say? I'm absolutely buzzing by that. I cannot believe... I'm recording this video now. I don't know, half an hour after the game. But I sort of wanted to sort of capture my excitement about it now. Not that I think it'll be any more diminished tomorrow when I publish the video, but I'm absolutely buzzing about it. Timing is just everything in football. It really is. And I do wonder if... I'm thinking about next season when I'm thinking about George Earthy, and I do wonder if maybe we're not quite looking at the same players we were looking at before. I know he's sort of predominantly started on the left-hand side, but as you would have seen if you watched the game, he started popping up everywhere. This is not the first time I've seen George Earthy. I've been lucky enough to see him live. And he's a prodigiously skillful footballer. In many respects, I felt he was playing it safe in this game. But in terms of everything you hear about Julen Lopetegui's style of football, everything you hear about it would lead you to suspect that George Earthy is going to be very, very compatible with this footballing style. And actually, I'm looking at maybe the similarities with George Earthy and Declan Rice, not in playing style, but in the way that the risk had already been taken by another manager. Was Slaven Bilic who gave Declan Rice his debut? Yeah. But it was really Pellegrini who really started to play him. And it was Pellegrini who turned him into a midfielder. By the time David Moyes turned up for his second stint at West Ham, Rice was a midfielder. Moyes came in, and sort of the rest is history. Helped developing him into the excellent player that was worth 100 million and the player that you see before you today. But I do think timing was pivotal then. I think had timing have been slightly different, I'm not saying Declan Rice never makes it under David Moyes, but David Moyes is not somebody that's prone to promoting centre-backs, young centre-backs, and that's what he was. That's what Declan Rice was. So the timing of Pellegrini was crucial. And I do think it takes a big jump to promote a youngster, but if somebody else has done it before you, then I think that's a really, really good thing. And I do wonder now, because when Earthy made his debut, just before he got the concussion, he made several really nice touches. He looked, to the manner born, looked really comfortable. The way he was linking up with Paquetá was impressive. He continued in that vein in this game against Luton. And when I'm sort of looking at what Julen Lopetegui would have seen, he would have been happy with that. Because Earthy has been used, because Earthy has been given his debut by Moyes, and in a Premier League game, or two, to be fair, but I know this one was against not a Luton Town who aren't the best Premier League team the world's ever seen, granted, but he's now a viable option. He's no longer got to take that risk of plucking this guy from the academy. I would even venture so much as to say, maybe even next season, Earthy starts training, not at Chadwell Heath, but at Rush Green with the first team. Now, I know he's already had some sessions. Clearly he would have done. Obama's had sessions this season. Lewis Orford has. Callum Marshall has. Casey's been involved in some sessions as well. But I mean as a bona fide member of the first team squad. I think he'll still play development football and he'll still play under-21 football. And I'm making a hell of a lot of assumptions here, bearing in mind we've just seen him play for a few minutes. But there was enough within that to suggest that Earthy can thrive. And I mean thrive, but not just particularly in Lopetegui's system, but in any sort of possession-based system. Because he is as comfortable technically as anybody else. I'm not going to say anything as grand as this is the replacement for Paquetá. I'm not. I don't even think that. Because I think if we lose him, then we've got to go and get a replacement for him. But as that guy that can play in 3 or 4 positions, possibly, maybe I've over-egged that, but 3 or 4 positions in Lopetegui's side, someone to have on the bench and someone that's usable, he's thrown his hat into the ring there. And it's that seizing the moment, isn't it? It's just grasping that moment and that timing where he probably thought it was gone. I've seen it happen a number of times, the timing thing. Nathan Holland was playing really, really well for the development team. And it was under Pellegrini, and Pellegrini had drafted him in. Pellegrini was going to start playing him. We'd suffered a few injuries. And then what had happened, we had a cup match coming up. And he got injured right at the start of the cup match. And in the end, he had to bring in Grady Diangana. Diangana played, we won handsomely, won by loads of goals. And that, because it made sense. I might have that wrong. My memory's a little bit hazy exactly who it was. But then he started featuring in a few more of the league games. Basically, Grady Diangana had made his name. He became the guy that made it at West Ham. And that was, it was all about timing. That injury came at the wrong time. Now, look, I'm not suggesting, well, I guess I am suggesting, I am suggesting it. I'm suggesting that had that have worked out differently, Diangana may never have made it. Never mind the £20 million move to West Brom. Just another player gets the opportunity. And Ngakia playing at right back. Again, it was Ben Johnson was due to be playing them. But actually, Johnson got injured and Ngakia then pretty much played out the rest of the season in right back. It's the timing. It's the timing of it. And I think this is one of those moments. And I'm absolutely delighted. I'm buzzing. And it just, as I mentioned in the review over on the main channel, I think it gives you real hope for next season. Real hope. Particularly as somebody that was worried about whether or not Julen Lopetegui was going to bring in any youngsters, because we get told he doesn't do that. That's what you get told. Maybe it's just the naysayers saying that. But you know what? You hear it a lot. I don't think he does now. I'm not even sure technically this is. He's not the guy promoting from the youth team, as I said earlier. Someone else has already done it. Well, you wouldn't leave him out, would you? That would be a weird thing to do. I don't know what Moyes is going to do against Man City. But he might as well get him involved. I mean, Pep would, wouldn't he? No doubt about that at all. Pep would play him. Almost anyone else would play him. And do you know what? David Moyes has shown that he played him. And I was almost thinking too little, too late. But it's not. It's not. It wasn't too late. It was too little, but not too late. Because actually, in the end, it worked. It's got it. It's worked for Earthy. He's developed. He's grown a lot this season. I've got to say that. He's grown a lot. And yeah, I mean, he's still slight of frame, but he doesn't look like significantly smaller in terms of height. He's developing into a good size there, and just so comfortable on the ball. So comfortable on the ball. I'm not going to say who, but there was a West Ham coach over on our Patreon channel who compared him. He's appeared on our Patreon channel within the last year, and compared him to Luka Modric. That sort of player, he's a footballer. That's what he is. Absolutely thrilled for him. Thrilled for George Earthy. Thrilled for us all, actually. Everyone. I'm sure they'll go out and get the superstar player, but that squad player who can play in an attacking midfield role, who they wanted for cover on the bench, they ain't got to go and get one now. They can go and spend on the right back or whatever other position. Well, centre backs, we're going to need those. It's one less player to buy. It's the beauty of the academy. I hope they don't stop there. I really hope they don't, because there's more in there. This is the best crop of young talent West Ham have had in years, and it ain't just Earthy. There have been times throughout the season where you might have argued it might have been someone else who's the best player. It might have been Marshall. It might have been Kadua. It might have been Lewis Orford. It might have been Casey. I mean, there's any number of them, and I feel bad for missing some out there. So there's more. There's more to come from that academy. No doubt about it at all. Freddie Potts coming back. Had a good season. All starts to look a little bit better. And you look at our ageing squad and how old it is, and then you look, you think, okay, well we've got some. That squad can be made younger instantly without actually making any transfers. I'm not saying don't make the transfers. Definitely make the transfers. But that complements it and supplements it really well. As I said in the review, I really hope Earthy's family got to the game. I really hope so. Really proud. Such a proud moment for him. Such a proud moment. And, yeah, absolutely thrilled for them all. Thrilled for Earthy. And as I mentioned, that to do the celebration, to do the Kudus and the Paquetá celebration, it's a special thing. It's talk about a highlighted moment. I bet Canning Townend's painting that as we speak. Anyway, there you go. Good news, great news. George Earthy, let me know what you think in the comments below. I sort of know what you think anyway. No one's going to have a bad word to say about it, are they?